This is the story of a young girl's struggle to cope with life after her parents' divorce.
Poor thing.
Also known as a stepmother's secret, this is 2022's killer stepmom. I'm Jay Harangue and I've wasted hours of my life watching terrible films.
You should subscribe.
This is Brie and she's the main character.
Hi.
Her parents have just got divorced, and as she's an American teenager in a film, this has sent Brie into a spiral of bad behaviour.
Of course.
You've got to feel sorry for her here, though.
Brianna, this just not gonna cut it.
What? She's only just handed it in. He can't possibly have seen anything on it. Unbelievable. Anyway, she's not having this, so she's like, back off or I'll tell the principal you've been drinking at work.
And your career will be over.
The principal takes her into her office and bollocks her, but she's like, I don't care about school because my parents are divorced. And oh no, here come her parents now. The principal tells them all about Brie's bad behaviour, and they decide that severe punishment is in order.
You're grounded this weekend.
Grounded?
What?
I'd suggest that being grounded for a weekend isn't too bad for getting caught trying to blackmail a teacher, but Brie is livid.
The only person you're hurting is yourself.
Cheers, Dad. An unspecified time later, Brie is off to her dad's house. She doesn't want to leave her mum, but at least she gets to spend some quality time with her dad.
And her.
Yes. And Susanna.
And here we are at Dad's house.
Dad, I'm here.
Right, that's ridiculous. Her new stepmom looks about the same age as her. And okay, the dad's not bad for a 60-year-old man, but his house is nowhere near big enough to warrant landing something like that. Anyway, Susanna wants to be friends with Brie, so she's like, let's go shopping this weekend and get mani-pedis. But Brie's like, no thanks. Her dad's like, Brie, Susanna's making an effort, so you need to go shopping with her this weekend. And Brie's like, okay, Dad. So that's happening.
Good. Hey? I thought that was you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think you're the wrong person.
Ah, is that so?
Like I said, you're mistaken.
My mistake.
Have a nice day.
I feel I should point out that this guy is one of my favourite Lifetime actors. His name is D.C. Douglas, and long-term viewers of this channel may remember him as the boss who was always lurking round the corner in The Killer in My Backyard. He also appears in a movie called Aquarium of the Dead, where all the fish turn into zombies and attack the guests.
Okay.
Anyway, Brie's like, what was that about? And Susanna's like, yeah, men are always doing that as an excuse to talk to me. But when Brie comes back from getting coffee at the stock footage cafe, she sees Susanna arguing with the guy across the street.
What was that all about? He just refused to accept the fact that I was not this other person.
Brie's not totally convinced, and later that night she tells her dad what happened. Her dad's like, Brie, stop trying to get me to leave Susan.
Susanna.
She makes sex with your mum feel like throwing a matchstick into a windsock.
Ew! TMI.
Later that night, Brie calls her boyfriend about this, but he's more interested in PlayStation. She thinks she sees movement outside her door and sees Susanna leaving the house in the middle of the night. So she follows her and sees her picking up that guy from earlier.
You want your money? This is where my husband keeps it. Don't worry. You'll get what you came here for. All right, hand it over.
You first.
So he's dead. While Brie drives home, Susanna covers the guy's body in cement, but she somehow gets home around the same time as Brie. Brie ducks in her car as Susanna gets back to the house, so she doesn't see her. Or does she? The next morning, she calls her boyfriend to tell him all about it, but he's more interested in his car. He's like, I'm busy, just tell your dad what you saw.
Yeah, that'll go over well.
So she tells her mum instead.
What you're saying, it's a big thing to accuse somebody of.
She's like, what did your dad say? And Brie's like, I haven't told him. I'm not 100% sure of what I saw.
What?
Yeah, I'm not sure what else that could have been, but okay.
We need to tell your dad.
Let's see how this pans out.
Murder.
I know how it sounds.
Do you? Really?
She said she saw it.
Brie, what you're saying doesn't make any sense.
And why is that?
You snuck out despite being grounded.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that makes no sense whatsoever. Sneaking out while being grounded. Grow up, Dad.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Well, she went downstairs and walked out of the front of the house. It's not exactly the Shawshank Redemption, is it?
No.
I'm not making this up.
Bree, tell us. Brianna says she saw you murder someone the other night.
Don't deny it. I saw you. I followed you.
This is because of the pregnancy, isn't it?
That's right, Susanna is pregnant.
I mean, it was a false alarm, but still.
Oh, okay, she's not. But Bree's mum has to leave because she's so upset that her ex-husband is trying to have a baby. Oh yeah, and there's that whole murder thing too.
This is all just too much for me right now.
Sorry, Mum. So they go back to Bree's mum's house. The next day at school, Bree and her boyfriend decide to go to the scene of the crime later to get proof. But oh no, it's locked. Not to worry. What? How on earth has that broken this lock? We'll just ignore that and accept that no lock could possibly withstand that level of force. So now they're in. But oh no, the cameras have caught them.
Don't move! Hands where I can see him!
At the police station.
Breaking and entering. What were you thinking? You're lucky I own that site.
Wait, you own it?
This has to stop, Bree.
Let this story go.
While her parents argue over whose fault it is that she's such a liar, Bree sees this poster on the wall. And oh my God, it's him. What? Randy McKnabb?
Randy McKnabb.
Randy McKnabb!
Right, for those who don't know, Andy McKnabb is the former SAS soldier who wrote the novel Bravo 20. Not to be confused, apparently, with fictional Lifetime murder victim Randy McKnabb. While Bree's parents are outside deciding what her next punishment should be,
I think we should take away her phone.
yeah, that'll show her. Honestly, with punishments like this, you're probably thinking that if Susanna does get found guilty of killing Randy McKnabb, the judge will send her to her room and not let her watch TV for a week. Then again, this is set in modern-day California. Anyway.
She's making up lies, and they're getting worse.
But Bree's not lying, and in the car, she shows her mum the poster of Randy McKnabb.
Randy McKnabb!
She also tells her mum that she found an acrylic nail at the construction site.
How many construction workers do you know who wear acrylics?
True.
Well, this is modern-day California. Anyway, Randy McKnabb was a private investigator, and her mum agrees to go with Bree to his office and ask some questions.
We're looking for Randy McKnabb.
Randy McKnabb!
We think he's investigating someone we know.
Susanna Williams?
No, Susanna's, I'm sorry.
What about a Kate or a Catherine, maybe?
Now that name I've heard.
Bree and her mum are told that Randy investigated the worst kind of people, embezzling partners and cheating spouses.
He's known for selling the dirt that he was paid to dig up to his target, as long as they paid him more.
Bree's mum believes her now and is worried about her going back to stay at her dad's house. But Bree's like, don't worry, mum, I'll be all right. When Bree gets there, she tells her dad and Susanna that she's sorry for acting out and making up lies. But Susanna's not buying this. The next day, Bree's mum comes round and she's like, right, I did some digging, and your new wife isn't who she says she is. Her real name's Catherine, and before she changed her name, she wore this ridiculous blonde wig.
That doesn't look good.
Why would she lie to me?
What else might she lie about?
Let's ask her.
I changed my name 3 years ago. My ex-husband was abusive and violent.
Bree's dad's like, yep, that's good enough for me.
I'm sorry?
She's a liar.
And she explained why.
Really?
Bree's dad clearly doesn't want to accept anything that may ruin what he's got going on here. Blinded by lust, and I don't blame him. So Bree's mum leaves. She goes to the police station where Detective Han of the useless Lifetime Police Department tells her,
There's nothing for us to investigate here.
oh, come on. At this point, I'll mention that I had a comment on my last video about the ULPD, which I thought was perfect. The Lifetime Police love to find excuses to throw the victim in jail and blindly fall for any frame-up scheme concocted by the villain. That is so true. They may as well just set all these films in a fictional universe where the police have been disbanded. Then again, this is modern-day California.
Stop it.
Sorry.
Anyway, Detective Han's like, you just want to believe this because you're annoyed that your ex-husband's new wife is much hotter than you.
That is not it.
But you see how it looks like that, right?
Yeah.
So Bree's mum calls this sad, desperate patient of hers called Howie, who's been begging her for a date.
I'm actually calling because I need your help with something.
Meanwhile, Susanna is over at the former office of Randy McKnabb.
Randy McKnabb!
She kills his secretary and opens this box. Now that's how to smash a padlock. Then she burns the place down.
You're out late?
I had a doctor's appointment.
What?
Now, I don't know much about healthcare in the US, but here in the UK, if you want to see a doctor after 5 p.m, you're sat in a hospital waiting room for 3 hours minimum.
Yep.
I don't understand. I was told our system was the envy of the world. But hey-ho. Anyway, Susanna's like, look, I'm pregnant. And Bree's dad's over the moon. Susanna's like, just imagine the sort of lies Bree's going to come out with when she finds out about this. And her dad's like, don't worry, I won't believe a word she says from now on. Meanwhile, Bree's mum is telling Howie how she's found absolutely nothing about Susanna/Catherine online.
It's like
She didn't exist.
Interesting.
Now, that could be because she's been looking at this article on Wedding Day Post about her marriage to Bree's dad titled Local Couple Prepares for the Big Day. Who would be interested in reading this? No idea.
there has got to be more here. I can feel it.
No, sorry, just the article from Wedding Day Post and this photo of her in that ridiculous blonde wig. Howie's like, okay, I'll look into this abusive ex she claims to have. Bree's mum calls Bree and tells her to be careful. But oh no, Susanna's listening into their call. So that night she sneaks out, breaks into Bree's mum's house and drugs her coffee. The next morning, Bree's dad tells Bree that her mum has been in an accident and that drugs were found in her system. Bree's like, mum doesn't take drugs. And he's like, yeah, well, she's been under a lot of stress lately. Maybe she's started. So they go to the hospital to see her and she tells Bree that she thinks she was drugged. Bree's dad's like, look, Bree will be staying with me now that you're on drugs. So that's happening. Back at her dad's house, Bree tells Susanna that she's going to prove that she was the one who drugged her mum.
When are you going to give this up?
When you're in jail. For what we both know you did.
Meanwhile, Howie is showing Bree's mum what he's found. Susanna's ex with this guy who got arrested for running a Ponzi scheme and took his own life. His business partner, Roxanne, however, who claims she did nothing wrong, got 20 years in prison. So Bree's mum goes to see her. It turns out that it was Roxanne who hired Randy McKnabb.
Randy McKnabb!
To find Susanna and the money her ex-husband stole. That way she could pay back the victims and get her sentence reduced.
I have an idea how we both can get what we want.
That night, after drugging her dad, Susanna sends Bree a text from his phone saying he's found some information on Susanna that he needs to discuss with her, but not at home, at the company lot. She's also paid this guy to get rid of Bree's mum, but he's completely useless. And not only does he get easily knocked out by Bree's mum and Howie, but he's also brought all the evidence with him that Susanna hired him.
What an idiot.
Bree's mum tries to call Bree about this, but she's already at the company lot, thinks she's about to meet her dad. But oh no, it's Susanna.
What are you doing here?
Your dad told me to meet him here. He said he needed to talk.
Wait, why do you have his card?
Oh no, she's been injected against her will. Then again,
No.
I'm sorry.
when Bree's mum and Howie arrive at Bree's dad's house, they wake him up and see that Bree's not there. She's crawling around the floor at the company lot. But it's okay, Bree's mum and Howie have arrived. Bree's mum's like, Susanna, why are you doing this? And it turns out their ex-husband's company was bought by Bree's dad's company and stripped for assets.
And?
Yeah, this is a terrible motive. I'd understand maybe going for the prosecutor like in Cape Fear, but this makes absolutely no sense. Anyway, then there's this fight. Then Howie arrives in an ambulance with a guy who runs like this. At an unspecified time later, we see that Bree's mum and Howie live together. And oh, look, Bree's got an A at school.
I think things are getting back to normal.
I think so.
Yeah. Susanna, on the other hand, is in prison with Roxanne.
Oh, no.
And that's the end of the film. So until next time. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. And please consider joining my Patreon. There's a link in the description. Thank you.